All right, Year 7, you're about to start your first high school exam, and here's some just tips to get your head around what's expected and what some things are going to help you out here. The first thing to remember is to keep calm. When we think about tests, you may think they're scary or you might get really nervous, right? But really what tests are an opportunity for us to know what you do know and what you don't know, and helping us work with you on improving those skills. So the first thing to do is remember to keep calm. The next thing to do is make sure you read the question, because often students will look at something, they'll see some numbers and they'll say, oh, okay, I know what to do, and then go ahead and answer it, and they haven't actually answered the question at all correctly. Sometimes we need to subtract. Sometimes we need to find the place value. Sometimes we need to estimate. We need to do all these different things, and we have to make sure we're reading those instructions really carefully before we start answering questions. So make sure you read the question first before you do anything. And the last thing is, if required, we want to show our working out. So in this exam, we're not bringing in calculators, okay? So we want to see all the things that you're doing. If you're carrying over a number, if you're maybe doing some manipulations or simplifying, then we want to see that. So make sure you show all the working out that you do. Without further ado then, let's have a look at our topics. We're looking at integers and time for this test. And for integers, we're just looking at whole numbers here. When I am working with integers, I can do a whole heap of things. I can subtract them, for example. If I want to do 84 minus 16, we usually lay it out like this, and then we start with that right-hand column, right? I say, okay, 4 minus 6. Well, we say we can't really do that at this point, so we need to borrow from the one next door. So we borrow from that guy. That becomes a 7. And we put the 1 there. Now this is treated not as a 4, but because there's a 1 there, we say it's a 14. And they say, well, 14 minus 6, I know that's 8. And then 7 minus 1, that's just going to be 6. How can I know that's right? Because if I don't have my calculator in the test, it's going to be hard to check. Remember, addition and subtraction, they're always opposites. So if you take 68 and you add 16, you should end up straight back at 84, which is what actually happens in this case, which is great. Okay, next one. What about the place value of 5 in this number here? Now, this is a big number, 234,567, right? When I'm asking for the place value, that P there, I'm automatically thinking of the position. Because I know when I read out this number, 234,567, that means it's 500, right? I don't just read that as the 5. It's the digit 5, but it means 500. When I'm looking for the place value, that's not my answer. I want to think about the position. What position is this? Well, we say it's in the hundreds column. And that's the place value of 5 for this answer. Yeah, it's in the hundreds. Okay. Part 3. This one's a tricky one because we're tempted always, kind of like when we read a book, right? We read it from left to right, and we're tempted to just answer it from left to right. But in mathematics, we need some operations here. We need some order of operations, and we know we have that abbreviation BODMAS, right? And BODMAS stands for brackets of division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. That's telling us the order that we need to do things. Okay? So if we see any brackets, we do those first, then we do division and multiplication, and then addition and subtraction. That's the order we have to do them. So if I look at this one here, I go along and see, okay, is there any brackets? No. Is there any division or multiplication? I do. I see it over here. So I need to do these first. Okay, let's do this line by line. 4 times 7, what would that be? Well, that would be 28. Once I've done that, now that I can see, okay, I've only got addition here, because they're all at the same kind of level, then we just have to read it from left to right, and that's our answer. 9 plus 28, that gives me 37, plus 3, that gives me a nice number of 40 there. All right, almost there. Time. I love time because time is something that we see in the world around us. I can check the time now. I can check the time in another country, right? Sometimes we have different ways of telling the time, though. That's something like this. We used to have something called 24-hour time. That was used commonly during those army days because you don't want to say 8:52 and get confused between the morning and night time, right? So we used to write things in 24-hour time a lot. How do we actually write them? Well, in 24-hour time, we don't have the AM and PM anymore. Instead, we have the time going from 0:00, that's when the day begins, midnight, all the way to 23:59. Okay, that's 11:59 PM in AM PM time. So you look at this one. If it's in the morning, okay, well then I know because it's 8:52 in the morning, it's going to start with a 0, and I just write the digits that I see, 8, 5, 2. Okay, so I removed the AM and I removed these dots as well. Once I go over 12 o'clock, then I have to be careful. The numbers just keep going up until they hit 23. So in order to write this in 24-hour time, because I know it's PM, I'm going to add 12 to that. Okay, I'm going to add 12 to that. 11 plus 12, that becomes 23. And then I write down those other digits. 23, 28 is the time in 24-hour. Awesome. Can we go backwards? We definitely can. If I see that 0 there, okay, I know I'm definitely in the morning. And so I know that this is just going to be 7:30 in the morning. AM. What about something like this? Remember, I know that first two digits, if they're bigger than 12, then I know that's in PM time. So if it's in PM, to convert backwards, I just have to do the opposite of what I did here. I'm going to subtract 12. 13 minus 12, that gives me 1. And so that's just 1:06 PM. So those are just a few questions that you might see on your exam. And hopefully it helps you to remember to keep calm, read the question, and showing you're working out that you're doing as well. All the best.